Hey Goober, you ever made a choice before? Yeah, I bet you have. You sick fuck. You sicken me. Making choices is wrong. Making choices for yourself, especially? Oh. Ah! Yeah, but I believe, as the title suggests, what distinguishes humans from other animals is the fact that we can make choices for ourselves. Not just choices to follow an instinct or an instruction. Choices that ultimately mean nothing. Making art is one of the most human things that you could possibly do, because what do you get out of art? Nothing. You don't get anything. Making art doesn't directly feed you. It doesn't like give you god powers. Sure, you can convert art in the society we live in that is adherent to us as humans, obviously, because it's a human-made society. Yes, you can exchange art for things that can allow you to get those things, and you're not a bad person if you're making art for a living. I know, insane, contrary to popular belief. However, the fact that you're making art to begin with, the fact you chose that, you have to have found art fun to begin with. You have to have a desire to make art, because there's a million better ways of making money that don't involve making art and just involve becoming a drone, a slave to the society hive mind we live in. Going real jongleur mode today. Why so serious? Because I'm passionate. I'm a passionate bitch. And I think that the choices we make are what distinct us. The fact that we can consciously just convince ourselves, just on the spot, maybe I'm not gonna do that. Or, maybe I'm gonna waste my energy on this completely pointless endeavor because I want to. Or maybe because it'll benefit someone else. It's funny, isn't it? You think that just doing things for yourself is seen as selfish, but that's stupid. What's selfish is when you do things for yourself with no regard for how anyone else feels. Making actions that affect no one else and you are conscious of that, that is another thing that makes us human. The example I want to, let's take animals. Let's take this fucking thing, for example. This little creature here. Birds are deemed as more intelligent than other animals. And I think a big part of that is because, don't quote me on this, I'm not like a scientist or anything, I'm spitballing. They can play. Birds are very capable of playing and responding to commands we teach them because, they think it's a good thing. But they're also just capable of playing on their own time. Like birds can, they roll around on their back sometimes, they kick their feet up at you, they little baby, they're little creatures. Or dogs, for example, you can teach dogs things, they have a brain capacity, and they very much can make the willing choice. However, animals are of course not as intelligent as humans. They are limited. They can only go so far without straying from their instincts, and they are shackled. They are bound to their instincts. So they got the cuffs on. These aren't cuffs, don't worry. Whilst us humans, we are much more capable and much more willing to make those decisions because we can think ahead, we can process, we can understand that this thing I'm doing does not matter, but it's that second thought. The second thought is what allows us. We don't just follow a set path. Like, I've got a bad idea that would negatively impact people. It would negatively impact people. You get what I'm saying? It's that ability to second guess things and make choices that may not benefit us, but in the world we built especially, it exemplifies that. We just like doing it, and that's good because those things we like doing, having empathy, having love in our hearts, making art to inspire people, that makes us that makes each other happy. That's why we as humans are the most advanced species. Every invention you have ever had the pleasure of utilizing, everything around you, this world we live in, as fucked as it can be sometimes, it was made by people who made conscious choices for the betterment of others. Yes, there are stupid fucking assholes that have wormed their way to the top that want to break that because they are delusional and stupid and animalistic in a way. But you're watching me right now because someone, a human, someone who is undeniably a person, had the passion to make this come to fruition. Especially given that back then the internet was seen as like fucking taboo, like the devil's goddamn digital lair. Don't go in there. We can't use that for anything special. That's a crib of demons. So, what's my point? All of this is actually a really long way of saying something that is also undeniably true, because I'm correct, and if you disagree with me, I want you to go far away and stop watching my stuff, and I want you to rot in hell forever. No hint of joking there. Not in that one. That was a completely serious statement. Pedophiles. Groomers. Other criminals, but mainly those two are the ones I wanna shoot spitballs at. You know, I'm gonna say it, I'm not a big fan of groomers. I'm not a big fan of the government. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of groomers. They fucking suck. And that's because, that thing I was saying before, we are humans, we are people, real human people, through and through, that can make the conscious choice to make choices that benefit other people, as well as ourselves, but also just mostly other people. Groomers are subhuman. They act like animals, so they should not be treated as human. They are inexcusable monsters. Animals, as I said before, they don't have the brain capacity like us. They don't really second guess things. They just kind of be like, I do that now. Humans, no matter what, we evolved to a point where we have the ability to function in society, to think about things, to say yes and no, to think about others. If you were to deny that thing, like, consent as a concept is very human in nature. Of course, animals can not want things, but humans are the ones that can process this stuff. If you deny that, if you deny people that autonomy that they have, the autonomy that makes them human, then you become an animal. You sacrifice your humanity for the sake of just being a fucking creepy pervert. That, on top of it, also just, it damages everyone. But that right there, I think, is the core reason why I personally could never forgive a groomer or a pedophile. No matter how much they tried to make up for it, no matter how fucking much they regretted it, you can't do that kind of thing on accident. Let's say, like, someone kills someone. That can happen on accident. It's still horrible, and it's complicated with murder. You know, manslaughter exists. Of course, like, fully intentional murder, like, I planned this all, I'm gonna kill this person, that's fucking inexcusable. But, like, manslaughter exists for a reason. Or, like, freak accidents, mental illness. But when it comes to, like, groomers and just abusers in general, really, you have to really stick with it and make the conscious choice to betray your humanity and just go full into the dark side, well, that's the light, full into the dark side of being animalistic. There's also a big roundabout way of me saying that I don't really like the notion that a lot of people have, like, oh, I just hate humanity. I just hate all people. All humans suck. You hate the people that you've been exposed to. You hate the vocal minority of disgusting motherfuckers that are using these gifts of technology around us, these gifts of real good humans, to spread their sickening agenda. They are delusional, and they are wrong. They are having animalistic, stupid, dumb-ass caveman thoughts, and unlike animals, they cannot help it. They are unforgivable scum. What makes us human, what makes us wonderful human people, is our ability to consider each other and do things for the sake of doing them. I sort of, like, more vaguely handled that in my previous, the fucking 100 subscriber video at the end, but I just thought I'd, state this right here, alright? So yeah, babushka, have a good day.